What up guys, Victor here. I'm with my good buddy Mitchell Brown. If you guys want to see how we went ahead and hunted, caught, cleaned, and cooked these 180 million year old living dinosaurs,
stick around because it's about to get wild.
Now before you guys make any judgments or post any negative comments, please hear us out, because what we did was, number one, it was 100% legal. This is actually a very common thing, and if you guys have ever eaten alligator in a restaurant, it's got to get there somehow. The beef that you guys have on your dinner plate, that was once an animal too, just like these alligators are. I'll let Mitch say the rest.
So the FWC, Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission, manages alligator population every year by opening up an alligator season starting August 15th every year. Every participant gets 2 alligator tags. These are my 2 tags that I filled in Lake Okeechobee North for the first phase, the first week out of the 4 weeks of the alligator season. And this is a great way to contain the population, because the alligator population has been a true success story for the state of Florida. They used to be endangered, and now they've rebounded and are doing so good that the FWC can open up a season on them. So these are my 2 tags.
Now the clips you guys are about to see are from the actual raw footage of our hunt on Friday that took place. Now keep in mind that we were very quiet, so there's not a lot of talking, not a lot of explanation going on, but I will try to do the best that I can as far as a voiceover or explain the methods that we use to kill and harvest these alligators humanely. So play that clip.
There you go. Oh! Stuck it.
Wiggle that hook in there.
He's hissing like a cat, Vic.
Tag. What do you guys want to do? That's it. There we go. That's the procedure here, guys.
That was the first one.
Hook pulls?
Yeah, the hook pull, but we're going to release him anyway, so.
Now the main way we actually spot the gators is just by shining a flashlight across the canal and looking for their eyes. Now you guys will see a harpoon being used, which is a second measure to secure your alligator before dispatching it with a bang stick.
I got it.
Right in the neck. Wait, underwater? Nope. Right there. Go. Goodbye.
Go.
Oh, Mitch.
Stoned him.
Nice,
found
bro.
it.
I don't know, 7 foot.
Good.
Stank.
Oh, so you have to do this, right? As soon as
Yeah, you have
kill
to tag him. This is the tag.
All right, so
CITES tag.
Tag is on.
And it's locked.
Get him.
Got him. Oh, yes. Yes. There you go.
Bury it. Keep burying it.
Yeah.
We let this gator go in hopes of filling our tag with a much bigger one.
Do it.
Go ahead.
I don't care. I'll stick with that.
There goes the trouble.
Somebody hit him. Got him.
That one went dead.
Oh, he went limp. Alright guys, so something you should know is Mitchell and I have never cleaned an alligator, so we're just giving it our best shot. And shout out to Rob from Deer Meat for Dinner, because everything that we know about gator hunting and the whole cleaning process, we're basically mimicking them. So if you guys are saying we're copying Deer Meat for Dinner, it's because we are.
Yeah,
we are completely clueless, so let's get to it. First thing Mitchell is doing.
I am going to give this alligator a bath. These alligators are living in a swamp. They're living in pretty dirty water. We're going to clean the hide, because as we're skinning him out and as we're exposing the meat to the outside of his skin, there's a pretty high chance of infection.
We actually killed this gator on Friday, but it's Sunday afternoon right now because you got to cool him down on ice.
Yeah.
And so it's been sitting in his shed, and that's plenty of time for bacteria or anything to kind of get in there.
That is actually one of the recommended procedures when you actually kill your alligator. Is you can either have a walk-in cooler, or you can actually wrap them up in a tarp and cool them down with a ton of ice. It's actually a little bit harder to clean your alligator when he's hot.
As we're just rinsing him off, we literally scrubbed this entire thing. We flipped him over, belly, legs, head, everything. We scrubbed this gator down. It got a full thorough bath.
Now we're gonna go ahead to mark this gator out. The rule of thumb is apparently leaving a row of scoots.
These things right here, guys, these are the scoots.
Yes, these are the. This is where we hit him with the bang stick. Here's the hard plate, or where the skull starts, and the bang stick is actually severing his spinal cord. That's the theory behind it.
And what does marking do? What do you...
Just marking him out is just gonna go ahead and take this top layer of scoots off. The top part of his body here is extremely tough. Like if you hit him with a harpoon or an arrow, it would bounce right off this. I know that because we hit the second gator. This is the first gator we killed. We hit the second gator with a harpoon, and it actually bounced right off of its back. It didn't do anything. I mean, it's literally like bone. It's literally like bone. It's,
Guys, listen to this. So this is something else we also learned on Deer Meat for Dinner. What does he recommend?
he recommends that you use an air compressor and you actually blow up the alligator, so to speak. You like make an incision on his legs and you're gonna actually inflate him. So I marked out the one side without the air compressor, but we're gonna try the other side just to show you guys what it looks like and just to see, because I've never done it.
You don't have to, but it's recommended. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to make marking and skinning, the skinning process easier.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to make a little incision right in this general area, like so. I'm gonna try to stick this in there, like so. Kind of grip down and
It literally blew up like a balloon.
you do.
When we snagged these gators with the treble hook, Mitchell was on lock drag on our reel and just stuck it as hard as he could. And you'd think that the barb of the hook, or the big treble hook we were using, would go through the skin. It does not.
Actually, just as they harpooned this alligator, the treble hook pulled.
Yep.
So if it wasn't for the harpoon, we would not have this alligator right here, right now. Another thing I noticed about these scoots is inside of the scoots, there's little creases right here. See those little creases? That is where your knife is actually going to fit through, because as I was cutting through here,
interesting.
See how symmetrical it is? You cannot cut through this. You cannot. But your knife will actually find the fold and follow this, is what it feels like so far. When we were hunting, we saw plenty of alligators. A lot of them were small. Probably that night I probably did hook what, maybe
at least 9.
Yeah, 9, probably 9. We hooked a couple smaller ones that we were actually able to release. I hooked a couple of them right here in this area, and just one poke of the treble was keeping him in. So what we did is we pulled him right up next to the boat and literally just let go of the tension, gave him some slack, and it slipped right out, which is actually an acceptable release method for FWC. The FWC guidelines state that if you use a treble hook, you can release your alligators.
And as soon as you snag one and get it to the boat, it does not count as a harvest.
It counts as a harvest when you kill your alligator and put this CITES tag in your alligator.
Yep.
If you do not have the CITES tag in your alligator, it is 100% illegal. You have to have your tag.
So I really wanted to stress that because I didn't want to get a lot of negative feedback. We did catch and release many alligators. Getting an alligator tag is actually really rare. It's a lottery system and you have to pay. So when you do get an alligator boat side and it's a smaller one, you know, it's a lot of work to go out in the Everglades, find a boat to go on, or Lake Okeechobee, wherever you are. So you want to try to get the biggest alligator, the most bang for your buck. That is why we did release some of the smaller ones. But you guys, these things are literally living dinosaurs, and they are so resilient and hardy. That little treble hook is nothing. It's nothing to them. It doesn't phase them. We didn't harm the alligators. Just to show you guys, what he did is he marked it out, and all of this scoop, all along this outline, that's all going bye-bye. And all of the skin underneath, from the legs down to the underneath the tail, the belly, all of this hide is what he's actually going to have mounted.
So now what I'm doing, guys, is I worked on his tail a little bit, but I'm going to try to get as much of this hide off. You know, whatever meat I do not take off. See that right there? That's what you don't do.
Yeah.
You don't split it. Not that I care. This is my first one. As long as I'm doing it again. I'm doing quite a few of them. That's okay.
That's where you can't have too sharp of a knife. No. Mitch has skinned all the arms on the top side, the dorsal side of this gator.
Yep.
And
I'm working on the tail, and I'm trying to preserve as much of the meat as I can. And so this side that we blew up with the air is 10 times easier to skin. Definitely, I'm kind of bummed out we forgot that side, but you guys get to see what it's like without it and what it's like with it, and definitely recommend the air compressor. And we're gonna go ahead and just skin him all the way out this way. Once we skin him out all the way to his tail, all the way down here, we are going to divvy up the meat and start cutting them up.
Most of the belly, the jaw, these legs skinned, and he's all the way down to the tail, so it's coming down to an end.
We're getting close. I'm leaving a little too much meat, but that's alright. I'm gonna keep plugging along. I am on the tail right now. Here's part of the back strap, all the way around. Hindquarters, and the tail strap up here. And this is his tail meat, and I mean, the back strap is like essentially an extension of this. So I'm just gonna cut it here to know where I'm at, and find his spine, and just start to run my knife down his spine. So you can see you're starting to get into some lighter meat down in there, like so. Okay, haven't hit the jelly roll yet. You can actually kind of see it poking out. This is his jelly roll. They call it the jelly roll. It's actually the tenderloin of the animal.
Which is supposed to be the best part of the gator
Yeah,
itself.
it's the best part of the alligator that they say.
There's that second top loin of the tail coming right off.
Yep, trying to get as much as I can. And a fish. Like so.
And if you guys are wondering if it smells at all, it really doesn't smell. I thought it would smell really bad because these things live in the swamp and they would just smell like butt, but they don't. It doesn't smell bad at all. Alright, so this is, you just did the top?
Kind of, yeah. I tried to do my best to get the top loin, which is this, out of our alligator. We're going to go ahead and put it in the cooler.
That has no ice in it?
That has no ice, but it is clean, so that'll do. So you can kind of see, this is where that top loin was sitting, and these bones right here, his tail bones, it just sits right on top of them. They kind of come out to the side. So now this is where our bottom lobe is, and our jelly roll tenderloin is sitting in there. We're going to get all this meat here in a second. I kind of missed some. As you're feeling, his ribs are right there. There's really not a whole lot of meat on these ribs. I don't really want to poke them in the gut either. That might smell horrid. But I'll come back to this later at the very end and see if I can salvage some of it. Make sure we don't waste anything off of this guy. Now this is his front right shoulder. Couple things we can do with this. I can just take some of the meat off, kind of grind it up. I think I might do that after I take this leg off, just because I don't think that I'm probably going to get a whole lot to roast out of this guy.
Just so cool looking, so prehistoric. Do the easiest way.
So it felt like something was going on.
Yep. Oh, you're good. That's going to pull right out.
There's a roast.
Trying to cut it.
There he goes. Almost had it. There it is. Here's some jaw meat, guys. This is apparently another one of the best cuts of the meat. After I kind of worked on his jaw, I'm going to flip him over and get the rest of that jaw meat. I'm going to just cut the tops. Make sure I get as much of this as I can. Hitting a bone right there. There. Come back into here. Cut some of that stuff where we blew them up. And the nice thing is we can always kind of come back and trim some of the stuff that we want.
If you guys know anything to do with the paws or the legs, comment below because we have no idea
I'm gonna throw them in
what
the freezer.
to do with them. Which is gonna throw them in the freezer, so maybe we could do something with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any use for them or if there's any tools people make out of them.
That's pretty neat. Also, if you know anything about
hold up that head.
if you know anything about the skulls, there's his tongue. It was sitting there originally.
Yes, it was.
Now it's sitting down here. But yeah, comes out nice and clean. Does it still make the sound when you close it? That trademark clap.
So what Mitchell's doing now is he already cut the top of the jaw.
Yes.
And to get a better angle, now he just got the the right jaw.
Yeah.
That's the right
jaw meat. And that right there, after you trim it, after you clean all this crap up, that's pretty disgusting. I would not eat it with this in there, but we're going to clean it. I'm not going to waste it. After you clean all this stuff up, it's going to look just like a big chicken cutlet. I mean, doesn't that, after it's cleaned and trimmed, I think it's going to look just like one.
Oh, there's the shell.
Whoa.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Check that out, guys.
Whoa.
That was from the bank.
And see, it's directly over. It was directly...
Right there. That was the bullet right there. Yeah.
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 Okay. There you go, guys.
There's his head.
That is a decapitated alligator skull.
And this is the head of an 8'2" alligator.
8'2". This is where his skull stops. This is where his spine is exposed. That's where he hit him with the bang stick, right there. That's where we found the bullet too. All right, there.
Second jelly roll.
Second jelly roll. Going in the white meat pile. Now look, if you guys look, you will see this is the skeleton of the alligator. There is a little bit of darker meat down in here, but really the bone is right there. I mean, you can see the bone.
All right, guys. So we did the first gator. Mitchell got it done all by himself. He really wanted to do it. I applaud you, bro. It was
intense. It
took like 3 hours, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but hey, we got all the meat. We're about to chow down. It's about to be awesome.
And the second gator, Brando, Mitchell, and I, it took about a third of the time because there's 3 of us.
Triple teamed it.
And this is once again what the
this is the belly.
Skinned out gator looks like. There's the belly. There's his little gator paws, his little legs, all the way down to the tail. Yep. And it looks very much similar to chicken. Now, this is gonna be the end of this video as far as the cleaning part goes, guys. So the next thing you guys will see is actually the cooking part in the kitchen. So I'll see you there. All right, guys, I am super excited. We are in the kitchen now, and this is all the gator meat that I brought over to Brooke's house. I have the 2 best cuts of the gator. Now, I have never cooked alligator, but we're gonna give it our best shot. This is supposed to be like the tenderloin of the gator, and here I have some of the gator tail actually cut up into some thinner sections. I don't know how it's gonna cook, so I cut it up into thinner sections in case it is chewy. And we're gonna do it marsala style, so we're gonna gourmet this gator up. I already cleaned up some of the tail, but for this jelly roll, as they call it, looks like there's a casing on here. Hopefully I'm not butchering this thing, but I'm assuming we're gonna take this casing off. And another thing that I researched, and everyone that was experienced on the gator hunt that went with us told us to make sure to cut off any fat of the gator because it does not taste good. So I'm just gonna peel back this casing around the jelly roll. And it's looking pretty good. It doesn't smell. Now I have heard that gator meat can be a little tough, so just as a precaution, I got a tenderizer right here. I have really thin slices, maybe 1/4 inch slices of my gator tail and my jelly roll. And I'm just gonna pound it down just a little bit more, just to get them flatter, tenderize them a little bit. The gator is tenderized. Now come over here. I got a shallow glass baking dish full of all-purpose flour. We're gonna season that flour up with some paprika, oregano, garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. And then I'm gonna take these little cutlets, I guess you could say, dip them in there, into the olive oil, and we're gonna get to cooking. All right, guys, now what we're doing is, here is my flour mixture, and just going into the flour mixture. I got a little dish right here, but I wanna show you guys exactly how thin I cut this. So that is probably 1/4 inch or less. It's pretty paper thin, and that's how I want it. Since people do say that gator is chewy, so to minimize that chewiness, gotta cut it thin. What you doing, Brooke?
Fine.
Because you didn't get to go on the gator hunt?
Yeah, that's why.
No, she's cutting up some onions. Here goes nothing. We got the pan on medium heat with some olive oil, and I'm going to brown these guys up. Ready for that flip? Ah, there's that golden brown color. They've been on this side for about 2 minutes, no more, because I don't want to dry them out. Gator meat is very lean, does not have a lot of fat in it, so it's probably very easy to dry out, kind of like chicken breast. Our first batch is done. It's exactly what it looks like. We've got a golden brown color, and they might not be cooked all the way through, but they're not actually done cooking. I still have to go cook them in my marsala sauce a little bit later. I got some butter, and turn my heat to medium. Get that in there. Just a little update for you guys. So all of the gator is out of the frying pan. It is in a little glass dish. It's gonna set aside. We're gonna cook it at the end a little bit more in the marsala sauce. Have some butter right here, and Brooke was nice enough to cut up some shallots for me. 2 pretty decent sized shallots. I'm gonna brown these up and put some garlic in them. Our onions are a little bit browned, and this is 1 whole head of garlic from a garlic squisher. It's been pressed. I'm gonna go into our onions. And we got 3 packs of white mushrooms. They're going in there as well. Really marsala taste in this dish. You gotta go with some marsala wine. I'm gonna do 2 cups. Believe it or not, this is actually really hard to find in the grocery store. Me and Brooke were looking for like 10 minutes. It's not easily visible in the wine section. So we're gonna bring this up to a boil and reduce the volume by half and get that thick, winey sauce that everyone loves. So whenever I make marsala, this is one little kick that I give to it, and it's a beef bouillon cube. In here is that beef bouillon cube, crushed up, and here is gonna be 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I wanna show you guys what this mixture looks like. If you ever wanna thicken up your sauce, add some flavor, add one of those cubes in there. You gotta make sure you use cold water though, because otherwise the cornstarch will kinda curdle. It's cold. And this is just gonna give our marsala sauce more juice too.
Give it a good stir.
So if you mix the cornstarch in the water and dissolve it before you put it in something hot, it's not gonna curdle. But if I were to pour this without mixing it and dissolving the cornstarch in the water, it would curdle and you'd get those like dough balls in your sauce. So that's what it looks like. I'm gonna put this in here.
Who doesn't love bow ties? If you don't like bow ties, I don't know if we can be friends.
Now the wine has cooked out the amount that we wanted. So what Brooke and I did is just every like 2 or 3 minutes or so, Brooke would be my mushroom taster because she loves mushrooms. And if your mushrooms are too winey, then your sauce is probably too winey. That's what we go by. And here is the gator. And it's gonna go into our marsala sauce. And let it just cook a little bit longer and get all up in that goop. And we have our bow ties in as well.
Looks and smells really good.
Oh, kidding me? Look at that.
Woo! Wow. What do you think?
I think Chef Victor's not scared. First time cooking alligator, and he picks a recipe like alligator marsala. Come on, that's gutsy, man, and it's good. Look at it, mushrooms and pasta and tenderized alligator.
We did it.
Very good.
Jen, what do you think?
It's next level.
Mom, what do you think? Do you like it?
I like it. It's very good.
So what I want to know from everyone is the actual gator meat, is it tender? What does it taste like?
Well, I've had chicken marsala, I've had veal marsala, and this is just as good, if not better, than either of those. It's delicious. I don't like to compare things to chicken or meat. It's alligator. It tastes like alligator, man. It's delicious.
It is my turn to dig in. Now the one thing that I was concerned about this dish is we had a wild alligator. You have no idea what to expect. We have never cooked alligator. I've never caught an alligator before. I think it's pretty cool that we went out in the wild, did it, and now it's on a dinner table. And everything we did was completely legal, actually encouraged by FWC because they do these gator tagging programs in order to control the population to prevent people from getting close to them. So here's that first bite. It's phenomenal. If you guys are ever afraid of eating gator, don't be. It's like Brian said, if I had to compare it to something, I'd say it's pork, but it's definitely gator. It is not chewy like everyone told me it was gonna be. Cooking it, browning it first, got that nice little layer, that outer edge, and then Brooke and I put it back in the marsala sauce, and it cooked through and it kind of tenderized it a little bit more. So I think it is thumbs up. Definitely give it a go. If you guys ever get a chance to get yourself your hands on some gator, give this recipe a try because it is to die for.
I think it's really good. I'm actually surprised. I was kind of nervous because I was like expecting just like fried alligator because I've had that before and it's really good. I thought this was gonna be a little strange, but it's really good.
I'm really glad they decided to manage alligators because they taste really good. And some people get excited about killing things, but if you don't manage, they get overpopulated and then become nuisances, and things just get worse. Drawing a permit to kill an alligator and then enjoying a delicious meal like this, it's a win-win.
We have a perfect real-life example of how management is important. I'm not the duck hunter, but Brooke is, and she'll tell you a little something about duck hunting and alligators.
Well, this last duck hunting season, I was duck hunting and I came across about an 8-foot alligator and I got within like 2 feet of stepping on it. And the gators in the duck hunting STAs get used to people duck hunting, and people will shoot a duck and they'll come and eat the duck. Like, they're attracted to hunters because they know that they're out there shooting and like they associate it with food. So that's another reason that they go out there and they get the big ones so that doesn't keep happening. Because last year 2 people got bit in an STA that I hunt at. And that was 2 people that got bit because there was big gators in there.
Yeah, and it could cost you your life. So I know this video is gonna be controversial and there's no way around it, but we just wanted to give you guys our position and really assert, you know, this is completely legal what we do. It is a program put out by the state to control the population, because, you know, we live in Florida. We live in one giant swamp. You don't want your kid, your little kid brother or sister to be playing in her backyard, and what's gonna happen? They're gonna get eaten by an alligator, bit by an alligator. The fact that we're able to do this is to control the population. We're not just senselessly killing these animals. All of this meat went to a good use. It just fed a family of 5 people, and that was just 1/8 of the alligator meat that we got off of it. The hides are gonna go to good use. They're gonna be used for leather products, to make boots, wallets, all sorts of stuff. So you guys, please just keep an open mind as you watch this video. And I would say stay salty, but I'm gonna say stay swampy because there's no salt water involved in this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in that next one.